Coming up in today's episode of Circle Back.
Don't get me wrong, like every now and then I'll think of something and I'll be like, you know what, that'd actually be a good tweet and get some engagement, I'll do that. What tends to happen to people is you lie so much that you actually start to believe what you're selling. Like this is an actual phenomenon in the space.
They didn't do a seminar on Warren's mustache at Sloan Analytics when you were there?
We have a great portfolio of futures to like offset that. By the way, if someone loses 46 units in a year, do you think they're tailing these futures plays? Like who is betting this stuff afterwards as well?
Like, bro, if you're gonna shit yourself in front of us, at least like acknowledge you made cucky. It doesn't smell like roses. The room is a mess.
Agreed.
Someone's got to get cleaned up.
Disclaimer. The content presented in this show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of any individuals or organizations mentioned. Statements made about public figures or entities are based on publicly available information and are not intended to harm or defame any person or business. This show relies on fair use of social media posts, which are presented in good faith for the purpose of commentary and criticism. Viewers and listeners are advised to form their own opinions.
Circle Back here on the Circles Off channel. It's part of the Hammer Betting Network and it's presented by Kalshi. This is the show where we cover the latest and the greatest stories on gambling Twitter. With myself as host, Jason Cooper, filling in for Jacob Gramegna. We have, along with myself, the normal Tuesday crew. I was about to say Friday crew. Rob Pizzola, CEO of the Hammer Betting Network, pro sports bettor. In the second chair, Kirk Evans, seasoned NBA bettor, and then finally Geoff, someone who complains about heat on the golf course, is what I was told to make your name, your intro.
Fucking hot out. I played in a 2-day member guest in that heat.
Walked or cart?
Well, you have to cart for pace of play. It's not even an option. It's high. Listen, it was fine. It was fun. But, the knee's sore, the shoulder's sore, and you can't complain with the wife with 3 kids who you abandoned for 2 days to playing 6 matches that you're, like, sore because of golf. So the pro tip is, like, yes, you're sore because of golf, but you've got to, like, fall down. You got to, like, pretend you just tumbled a couple steps on the stairs or chasing a kid. You've got to, like, fake an injury doing something else, but like really you're down because of golf. But you can't like talk that one through because you got no equity for that.
Oh man, I've never resonated with something more. I don't have kids, but I deal with the same stuff. I golf a lot. I have golfer's elbow. I had to move a table with my wife in the backyard, like a patio table this week. And this thing was just firing so hard. She's like, what's going on or whatever. I'm like, oh, that rolled over in the middle of the night.
Yeah, they have no sympathy for it.
If I said it was a golf injury, the response is obviously going to be like, well, then golf less. Don't golf anymore. That's not an option, obviously.
I will say the one thing I do envy about like your lifestyle, I guess is the way to put it, like without the kids, without sort of an open schedule, is like you should be taking advantage of like twilight golf. Like that's what I miss from like, take me back like a decade, 15 years, like twilight golf.
There's nothing better.
Yeah, there's nothing better. Young guys out there, like you think you have it good, like these are the best days. When you can golf in twilight, that is the prime.
There's times I'll just eat dinner. And then afterwards, I'll tell my wife I'm going to go golfing. She's like, what, are you going to play? I'm like, no, I'm just going to go to the course. And there's no one else out. I just go. I play a couple balls. They do like 9 holes. It's amazing.
Yeah, I played my first solo round on Saturday night, twilight, alone out there, raining. One of the best. one of the best nights of my life, if I'm being honest. It was incredible.
I will say, Rob, for a guy who loves golf so much, I get a lot of rejections. I
will say he does invite me out a lot.
Yeah, so I don't know what that says.
I'm busy.
Okay. Golf's all the
He
time.
wants me to go tomorrow. I'm taking my nephew to Wonderland tomorrow. And ride
Okay,
some
fine.
rides.
So then I'm
Then he
like
was like,
Thursday.
I'm going to Chicago.
Rob is like, I'm out till after Bet Bash. Okay.
I'm
sounds
getting
like you're not
home for
taking
like
advantage.
3 days. I already have rounds booked for those days that I'm home. And then I'm back at Bet Bash. I'm done. It's
Listen,
my life,
like my friend who's busy, like who, I'm not the best with returning calls.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll call you twice. That's fine. But I promise you, I'm not calling you a third time.
Yeah. No, keep inviting me. It'll
just-
happen.
yeah,
I also
keep it
owe Jay
in.
around at some point. I haven't forgotten about that.
Speaking
Jay.
of myself, I was going to throw myself in here quickly. Guys, Geoff, you've never invited me to a round.
Okay.
You're telling me you get
What are
rejections
you
all the
complaining
time
about?
from Rob.
He's giving you his Jays tickets on the on the third base line.
Yeah, I'm cool with that, but
You know what
also
those tickets are worth now?
I believe
yeah.
it.
I'm going away this weekend. I had to sell a pair. There's a lot of losing years. A lot of can't give away tickets. Now it's crazy what the tickets are worth.
All right,
You have to love someone to give them to them.
Well, I mean, I don't know what that's saying about your relationship
HR?
with Jason.
No,
but,
that was before they got hot.
Like,
That was right before they got
I see.
hot.
Now he's not getting
Now
the
you
tickets.
got no shot.
No shot. All right. Well, we are in the dead heat of the summer, and that means the first topic of the day today is going to be about training camp. A lot of conversation on training camp. You feel like you see this every single year, but this year, in my opinion, it feels a little bit more amplified. From Lockie Lockerson right here. Training camp so far, everyone's in the best shape of their life, playing multiple positions and thriving, except for the Colts QBs though, who apparently suck, which is a great tweet. And then a follow up, he said also Justin Fields' toe hurts. He has a boo boo, which is hilarious because I remember I saw him. The Jets reporters were saying he was carted off the field. Isn't every player carted off the field when they get an injury in training camp because it's so far from the facility? Like, you physically need to cart them there unless you want them to walk really far. Anyways, a couple more tweets to get through. Rob, this is one of your own tweets. Scrolling through NFL training camp reports, apparently every QB trimmed his body fat by 5%. Every rookie already looks like a future All-Pro, and nobody's missed a throw yet. Must be late July. We've seen a lot of positive takes around training camp, but we've also seen some negative ones as well. This one coming from the Beak. A video of J.J. McCarthy struggling to read the defense for his 5th interception of the day. Beak says, "This guy stinks. The eyes don't lie. He wasn't even anywhere on my original draft board. Visit this tweet in 5 months and again in 18. Well, I have some bad news to share with you guys. This video from J.J. McCarthy is from last year because as of recording this video, the Vikings have yet to practice with pads on. So we've seen a lot of takes, good and bad, all over the board. Rob, let's start with you because you had a tweet in here. What's your opinion about training camp takes and training camp stats and the sort?
Well, I think like in the modern day sports world now, everyone kind of overreacts to everything. I do love NFL training camp because this is kind of like the flippening for me, I would say, right? This is where I start to get into and excited about football season coming up again and like preparing for the season, firing a lot more bets, stuff of that nature, whereas the last couple months has been relatively dead and quiet for me. So I get really excited about this stuff, but it is a reminder. This will be very arrogant. I don't really care. It is a reminder to me that, like, I see all these takes every single day on Twitter, and I love them. I live for them. I live for people like watching training camp and seeing like this team's going to be a bust, this team's going to be great. But when I see stuff, and this is not to single out Beak, I actually like Beak, but when I see stuff from like past training camps that people are formulating opinions on for this year. Like Caleb Williams was another example. A Caleb Williams tweet was going viral of him like looking horrible in the offense. Well, Matt Eberflus is behind him. Coach from, it's last year's clip. And people are using this to inform opinions for this upcoming season. So like this is our competition in the betting space. Like these are the people that are also contributing liquidity to the market. In some cases, it's really small. But I do love to see that and have a good laugh at it. I think generally people just take away way too many things from preseason, not only in the NFL, training camps in the NFL, in all sports. I think there's just generally overreactions to stuff that doesn't matter. You don't have context. You don't know if like the DBs on a specific play know what the play call is. You don't even see the DBs in half of these plays to see if like they're cheating, if they're, you don't know who the players are that are on the field. Could be like a fifth string player who's not even gonna make the team. Like there's just so much that goes on and you don't have that nuance. So I live for this time of year. I love it. I love the discourse around it, but I try not to make too many takes based off of the, first week of training camp.
So I think like your tweet and Lockie's tweet and this tweet, we're not even talking about the same thing. This is like Beak who got, made a mistake.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't, you're just picking the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
That confirms like a previous opinion you had.
Right.
But like to you and Lockie, I'd have to just say like, you guys are so smart and you got all this shit on lockdown. Like you're just like, people are at camp, they have to write fucking articles, they have to post clips.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you have to take them seriously or care that other people are. It is not even August yet.
Sure.
And what happens today in those clips, no one even gives a shit about the July 23rd through July 30th NFL camp discourse. It's like forgotten by August 2nd. So by the time the season's actually like here, it's all just like nothing. You and I honestly look at that and like you and Lockie are like just upset at clouds. Like
Okay.
truly, teams and fans are.
I'm not upset. By the way.
Not upset, but
I just find the general discourse funny. Like
no one actually takes any of it seriously.
I think people
don't
do
think.
though. That's where I disagree with you.
No, but like no one's actually taking what happens this week as like something that they're holding to in a month.
Maybe not, but the opinions
any
might
part of
change
it.
in a month because people are going to read.
It's
Like,
all liquid. And these teams, they all have got, it's the NFL.
Yeah.
Every team, even the lowly losers like the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Jaguars, the amount of
Yes.
beat writers that are there,
Yeah.
they got to fill their shit. Like, yes, it's annoying, but it's also like you and Lockie as veterans of the game
Yeah.
shouldn't even like, it shouldn't even register that someone's like, oh, this 5th round pick looks awesome. Like, I don't know.
So I can't explain to you why I tweet things. If it pops into, like, I don't go in with, I'm not like a.
And just because you tweet something doesn't mean you're like angry or obsessed. Because I hate that like one tweet or just sharing an opinion.
Yes.
Everyone's like, why are you obsessed or why are you so angry? Like, no, this is Twitter. I'm just getting an opinion out.
Sometimes, and I would say this for most of my tweets, I don't even think about them. I just happen to be in the moment and I send a tweet. Like, I'm not a content creator that is like trying to. Sometimes I will farm engagement. Don't get me wrong. Like every now and then I'll think of something and I'll be like, you know what, that'd actually be a good tweet and get some engagement. I'll do that. This was me probably scrolling through Twitter that day. I'm sitting at my computer. I'm seeing all this training camp stuff. I'm like, pretty amazing how everybody looks good. And this happens every year.
You
It's more
follow
like a general-
football people who
Yes.
are talking football and they're reacting to the video. Quentin Johnson didn't drop a pass for 5 days. Who cares?
I think he did, though.
No, then he
I actually
finally
did see
did.
it. Okay, yeah.
Then he did. Like the first 4 that the Chargers
I
opened
saw it.
earlier.
It's a blow
And then
by.
it was like a thing. Like it doesn't. It's just like you love football. Your feed is football. Camp is opening. People are excited. Guys are in good shape.
So
like
the-
I don't know it's the same hyperbole coaches speak. I just don't even think it's worth registering. And sure, those guys like you bet against, and I don't know. I honestly think it's nothing.
I'll let Kirk get in on this in 1 second, but like I can tell you from my group of friends, like if I go through my group chats right now, different group chats, the majority of them from the past week are clips from an NFL training camp that get posted in there and then spun into an opinion. Like this
don't
team
even
is going to
play
be asked
fantasy.
this year. Yeah, even
You
fantasy
don't even
stuff.
care. Like who cares? Like you don't even play fantasy. Who cares?
No. I think that just the general point that I'm making is that people do draw conclusions from this stuff. It might change. First game of
Sure.
preseason.
But look at like underdog ADPs. Like a guy that had a hot camp,
Yeah.
be fine. But like that doesn't matter. Like that is all just like the waves of August. And anyone who's been on the ride before knows exactly what the ride is.
Yeah, Geoff said no one takes it seriously. I think more accurately, no one serious takes
Okay,
it seriously.
Yes,
Sorry.
that's well
like,
said.
people take it
Yes.
seriously, but like people who are just like the beak. But But yeah, I'm a JJ McCarthy super fan, and he said visit this tweet in 5 months and again in 18. I believe there was one bookmark on this tweet. That bookmark was me. I will absolutely be revisiting that.
Oh, you're in the camp of bookmarking tweets now for takes that like are contrary to yours.
I think this might be the first one I've ever done, but we are revisiting.
I will say, we put out a video on Forward Progress of me saying the Lions are overrated. Okay, this is just relative to market,
Agreed.
right?
Agreed.
It's not me saying like the Lions are terrible. It's just relative to market expectations. And it was kind of hard for me to settle on the teams there. I got flooded with the Lions fans' mentions, right? I did bookmark every one of them as well. And listen, I won't revisit them if the Lions are good, because that's not the point. But
I will take a lot of shit if McCarthy sucks, so that will be revisited.
Yeah.
But if he's good, I am going to victory lap. I might tweet about this every single day for between 5 months and 18.
The first days of training camp is essentially like raving about like the pro day clips of
Yes.
a draft prospect.
Yep, I agree.
Right? And it's the same, right? Like
By the way, there is stuff that is important in training camp that matters.
rotations, new positions,
depth chart stuff, injury stuff. Like all of that should affect your handicapping for the upcoming season. If you're playing future, if you see like a weird injury and there's like reporting is like weird around it, you know, you can draw some conclusions from that. There's all sorts of stuff that matters from training camp, but people just get fixated on like one or two plays. This quarterback made a few interceptions. Aaron Rodgers missed DK Metcalf on a throw, and Metcalf or like Pat Fryermuth threw his hands up in the air. And there's like, oh, like there's no chemistry between these guys. It's like, it's the first time they fucking practice together. Like, what are we expecting here? So I love the discourse. I do.
Even being able to decipher coach speak is like
Yes,
a really good stuff.
even the people you don't respect aren't making like the majority, like the people you don't respect within like betting.
Yeah.
No one is like making outside of an injury news. No one is making a future bet based on like some 4th round draft pick looking awesome at camp, showing chemistry with the quarterback.
Right.
Agreed.
I mean, that guy might not even be available to get a yards on, but you're not investing in a division or a win total because of any of it.
But think about all like the tertiary markets nowadays which is just like offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie. Like one splash play would cause one of my friends to bet into one of those markets. There's so much more in terms of availability. You know what I'm getting at?
It's just some of it is like it's so early, like it's just
I know.
football crack, like it's football
It is
crack
crack.
addicts.
It is literally
wanting
crack.
their crack to
100%.
talk about it. Like we're here, we're jonesing. This drops. It's Tuesday. You're watching this.
Yes.
The Bolts are playing the Lions on Thursday. I mean, we're here.
Yeah.
I'm getting in a car by myself to drive 4.5 hours to Canton to see Gates get inducted this weekend.
I know no one can ever accuse you of being a fake Charger.
Yeah, I did it for Ladanian a few years ago. I'm right on the floor. I'm with friends and family. But it will be a successful weekend. I'm pretty much there to like find Philip. We'll be honest about that.
Sounds like Geoff is
That's
going to have a
some
lot of
serious
fun
commitment.
there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right, Rob, you brought it up.
It's a
That
long
brings-
weekend too. I'm crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Rob, you brought it up. Brings us to our next point here. You mentioned the tertiary markets that you can bet into. One right here that I bet into based off some training camp news is the Comeback Player of the Year award. I saw that Joe Mixon was in a walking boot. I was like, you know what? I'll throw a dart on Nick Chubb, one of my favorite running backs that I've watched playing growing up. Tons of options available here over on Kalshi. If you want to sign up for Kalshi, make sure you check out the link in the description. But I also brought up on screen JJ McCarthy, Comeback Player of the Year. Kirk, I know you wrote about the Vikings in Kirk's Hammer. What are your thoughts on maybe a JJ McCarthy comeback?
Just quickly before we get into this, I think it's kind of funny that Geoff said, no one's watching training camp and making bets. And to be fair, that was an injury, but then we go to Takes by Jay. It was like, oh yeah, I just threw some money on Nick Chubb.
I did the same
thought-
thing as Jay.
It definitely makes a lot of sense. To be
I
fair,
don't
that
mean
was
like
a good call.
you are formulating your opinions that you've been
Yes.
thinking about. You're working your numbers. I'm saying like outside of an injury, you're not making a bet because of like a training camp
Definitely.
beat reporter guy was
I'm not,
five-
Geoff, but I
Maybe
believe
depth
people
chart
are.
stuff. Maybe
I really
depth chart
disagree
stuff.
with you there. I believe people are.
You're betting a team to win a division because, like, the fifth receiver looked awesome that day when the first and second receiver were out just resting.
I
and getting
believe that
treatment.
like a beat reporter tweeting something about Aaron Rodgers not being on the same page with his receivers would cause a recreational bettor to go bet the Steelers under win total. I truly believe that.
Yeah, sure. Yes,
'Cause
but
I know
these
my-
are
I
also
know my
people,
friends well
who
enough that
are-
will bet
This
anything.
is just confirmation bias. They were betting Pittsburgh under
Probably.
like
Yeah.
80% of
But
the
you're
way
right. Yeah.
there too.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, JJ. I feel like I'm very bad at pricing some futures markets, and comeback player of the year is one of them. McCarthy, to me, like, I think he's gonna be awesome. I think it's a pretty tough case for him to win this award because, like, he's not coming back to the NFL. Like, he has no like baseline production where like typically comeback player of the year is, oh, this guy got seriously hurt and then like was able to be just as good coming back. So I don't know, but it doesn't seem great to me. But I don't have a bet in this market, and I don't think I'm very good at betting this market.
For a guy who's so high on the Vikings, you gotta take your shit. I mean, if the Vikings are good, it has to be McCarthy had a good year.
No,
and he's he's
I'm
relevant.
insanely high on McCarthy, but like I'm not sure if he wins MVP, he wins comeback player of the year. Like I don't know
true.
if he's like eligible. Not eligible technically, like
Yeah, they
eligible
wouldn't
in
get
the
the
voters'
same.
minds.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And the thing about this market is, like, you betting it, it's like going to the circus or playing a late night poker game with, Brett and Tommy G. Like, whatever happens, happens. You can't complain about anything that happens in this market, how it works out, who is, like, found to be ineligible, or if you find out, like, voters aren't going to back him because he actually never played
Yeah.
a league snap yet. Like, this is the like fun house of NFL betting.
Yes.
Yeah.
This market.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Crazy mirrors freak you out. And you hope-
Back-to-back years,
Yeah.
it's been like just completely drunk with Darnold and then with.
But we have seen
Hamlin.
rookies who never played show up. Like the dude who got shot, Brian Robinson, on
Yeah.
Washington.
Oh, did he?
But he didn't win it. But like when he came back, he was getting
He was a
some
rookie that
steam.
year, right?
No, but he
Yeah.
came back within the year, though.
Yes, but he still never played in the league before to show that he was coming back from being a player to care about. And then I think, wasn't like John Mechie on Houston had a cancer
Yes.
diagnosis
Canadian
before
boy.
he played?
I think Brampton.
So we
Yeah.
have seen
Those are
and those
a
guys
lot
have
better narratives.
and those guys have shown up on the board, but who knows how again,
Like if you're not winning by getting shot or having a cancer diagnosis, it's probably pretty hard to win off like a meniscus that he had.
Right. I am trying to find that Nick Chubb market right now on Kalshi. We're doing a series over on the Forward Progress channel right now called the Draft Series. So I'm very in tune with what's going on in these markets. But I'll give an example of where I think that in training camp, so exactly what Jason said, the Joe Mixon injury reporting is alarm bells should be going off in your head about the future of Joe Mixon at this point based off of the reporting. Whenever beat reporters are really quiet about a situation, there's something going on there, and I think Mixon's injury could potentially be really bad. And because, listen, I'm not...
that's injury. That's like a whole other ballpark than highlights.
Well, for sure, but when you think of the backup being Nick Chubb and what Nick Chubb has gone through and how well liked he is in the league, I think that the narrative around him...
You could also throw in the narrative.
I bet on him last year as well.
Yeah, you could throw in the narrative of the Browns cutting ties with him, and then we're going to see a Saquon Barkley-esque situation where the Browns are going to be in last place, and everyone's going to be like, the Browns should have kept Nick Chubb, when in reality, no, they shouldn't, because they would be in last place regardless. But that narrative will still ring true if he has a great year, if Joe Mixon doesn't play. There's so many ifs with this involved.
There's a lot of really good candidates for this award as well.
Oh, yeah, it's a big year for the award.
So
Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence. I mean,
McCaffrey.
I think McCaffrey should be favored in this.
I would agree.
It's a tough year.
And this is not like an anti-Lions thing. Aiden Hutchinson's a great player, but the 49ers are playing such an easy schedule this year. Obviously, McCaffrey has had injury concerns his entire career, and that's always... But at 23%, I feel like he should be the market favorite, and I would say his probabilities likely higher than that.
And it's important to note that Hamlin's multi-year eligibility is over.
Yes.
All he had to do was wake up. That's still one of my favorite quotes from you ever, Geoff.
All-time tweet or all-time video from Geoff there. Yeah, I love that. And a reminder, this market you can find on Kalshi. You can see on your screen right now. If you see that little QR code, if you're watching on video, you can scan it and you can sign up for Kalshi. Every sign up helps support the show. If you're not watching on video, you can just go in the description. There is a link there. At any point throughout the show, you can click on that link. Head over to Kalshi, sign up. Again, it does a lot of work for us here on the channel. Before we get into the next topic, just want to give a quick shout out to Kirk's Hammer. Going to throw to Kirk for this one.
Hey everyone, Kirk Evans here, writer of Kirk's Hammer, the free weekly newsletter from the Hammer. If you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're doing. I break down modeling concepts, market movement, and strategy in plain English. No fluff, no recycled bet against the public garbage. Just things that help you bet better. And starting this football season, Kirk's Hammer is expanding. More insights, more edge, more value. Hit the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen and get on the list. You'll learn something every week. Unless you simp for sportsbooks, then maybe not.
All right, moving off from NFL training camp to NFL pick selling in general. There's a lot to talk about here in the pick selling vein. Started off with China Maniac, who you see sometimes on the Friday show. He writes about pick selling. You should only buy sports picks if you're a professional bettor that understands why there's value. And most of these services are flat out scams. The two fastest and best paths to financial gambling freedom are the following: originating, moving for the originators, whether you're getting down or collecting accounts for them to bet. Top down is fine, but a lot of markets are getting saturated as there's a lot of overlap on people doing the same things, following projections. If you're getting started, never ever buy picks. Now, I think this is pretty sound advice, but it seems like some people didn't really agree with it. And, who would have thought? Right Angle Sports. I wonder what they do. They don't agree with China's take here. Right Angle Sports saying the guidance on pick following needs to evolve. Quote, never buy picks, end quote, might sound like a good general advice, but it is lazy, unrealistic, and skips important nuance. It ignores the massive demand for picks, gives a pass to all of the misleading free content being produced and consumed, and it directly contradicts many top pros who have openly discussed utilizing pick services. If the sharp community really wants to help and or educate newer, unsuspecting pick consumers, it needs to establish consensus standards for pick making, selling, tracking, and evaluating, and then recognize and support those who meet or surpass such standards instead of lumping them in with the worst of the offenders. I mean, there's a ton of irony here. I can go off about it. Kirk, maybe you're pretty familiar with this topic, so maybe you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I agree in some part with Ras of like, it is true. Like when I started out, and it is a very different ecosystem now, I bought a lot of people's picks because it was actually really low hanging fruit. Like I had a lot of really good accounts at the time, and like you could just find people who win. So like, it is, and like there are people I see now who like I don't buy. I actually buy Hitman's picks. That's the only person, but there are a lot of people now.
So you buy them from Hitman or from Fezz?
Straight from the source.
Okay, got it.
But there are people who win. But I do agree for like 99% of people, especially I really agree with China in the sense of like, if you don't really understand the sports betting landscape, and I see a lot of people who I'm friends with who buy picks or follow people's picks, who like end up losing a ton because they can't really differentiate if someone's a winner or a loser. But to me, the thing I really disagree with Ras about, if you go to their tweet, so I've actually written about this in Kirk's Hammer, but he says consensus standard for pick making, selling, tracking, and evaluating. I actually think Ras does not hit that standard or even close. I think the only way I would ever respect a pick seller is if you had data on the average line, the average amount bet, and the average win and loss of each client. I think that's the only way, because like, even if you're releasing a market number at minus 110, if you can't tell me what percentage of people got that minus 110 versus how many clicked and got minus 115, how many clicked and got minus 120, how much they got down. Because also your worst plays, people will probably be able to get more on. People probably are going to misclick sometimes, especially when stuff moves fast. That's on RAS. That's not really on the person buying. Like, obviously, the person buying has some responsibility as well. But to me, RAS, and no pick seller I know, to be fair to RAS, hits the standard of how you should track if you want to be a respected pick seller. If someone could come to me and say, here is the data, we send out a survey for every pick, or we have it automated right after we send out a pick, click how much you got, click how much, what line you got it at. 90% of our clients are making money. If you could do that, then I could have respect, but until then I don't. And also, just one more is, who cares how many units you're up if you're not counting it against how expensive your service is? That's another one that's incredibly important.
Yeah, I thought about this a lot, right? And I think it's safest to just tell people to never buy picks, like China did, right? Like RAS says.
Move the chair.
Wait, what happened?
I moved the chair, made a noise. Jason's acting like I farted. Like he's like a 6-year-old. He's like a 6-year-old.
You gave me a look. Don't act like you didn't.
Because
give
I
me
wanted
a
to
look.
make sure the audio, and I wanted to make sure
You wanted to
for
clear
the
audio. What do you want me to
like that the cameras, like if I move the seat.
Are you still in frame? Or
Yeah, that's what I was
fine.
looking.
Yeah,
He's
you're-
giggling like a schoolgirl.
You're fine. There's nothing. Like, what else?
I mean, at least I don't see him directly from
Yeah,
this
you
point
guys
of view.
are lucky. You're
I guess
blocked
got
out
that
from
camera
him.
view of him up there, but the picks discussion. Okay, so the second sentence: never buy picks might sound like good general advice, but it is lazy, unrealistic, and skips important nuance. I agree that it's lazy. I agree that it skips important nuance. On the unrealistic part, it is way more realistic to just tell people to not buy picks than it is to educate the masses on like what a good pick selling operation is versus a bad. To me, that's completely unrealistic, especially when you have pick sellers weighing in. Like this is coming from a pick selling service, right? And I like, who's supposed to do this education? Who's it supposed to come from? Like, am I going to spend every waking hour of my day trying to tell all my friends and everyone I know what's good and what's bad? The reality is there are people who can discern what is a good service and what is a bad service. As China mentioned, those people don't need to be educated. They understand the space. People like me and Kirk could pretty easily evaluate a pick selling service and determine whether or not there's real utility in buying that service or a product or whatever. The average person cannot do that. So you just tell them to stay clear. It's as simple as that. It's the easiest way. And of course, for RAS, I get it. It affects their business. If you're telling people not to buy picks and people are heeding that advice, it's going to affect every pick seller's business. So in turn, they're going to say, well, there's more nuance to this. You know, X, Y, and Z are actually signs of a winning service. And there may be. But spreading that message, in my opinion, is much, much harder. And at the end of the day, if it means less people are going to buy picks, and in the process, they might not buy good picks, I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me, because most of the people in the space are, I don't want to say scam artists, but like they're misleading in some capacity or another. We tried this like consensus standards with BetStamp before. Like when BetStamp first launched as a brand, one of the utilities of it was like everyone can just, this is going to be a way for any consumer to go in and look through somebody's fully documented record, determine whether or not they want to buy picks or not. What we very much learned through tracking is people actually don't look through other people's picks. They just look at the record. And that is very dangerous in and of itself. And I know that there's other products in market nowadays. There's like Juice Reel, there's a few others. There's Pickett, obviously, where you can track. And people just use the numbers as their, like, as gospel. But what they may not see is somebody might have lost 20 units and then somewhere deep buried in there, they bet a 25 unit game that won, and now they're up 5. It's completely misleading and stuff like that. There's just not going to be a consensus standard for pick making, selling, tracking, and like that to me is the most unrealistic thing, right? So I understand where this tweet is coming from. I really do. If I was in Ed's position, who I believe is still running the Right Angle Sports Twitter account, I would probably share some of these same viewpoints. I completely get it. But to me, what he's offering is a solution that is extremely unrealistic. And that's where I kind of draw the line. So for me, former pick seller myself, who never advocated for people buying picks, even when I ran a pick selling service, I would still tell you, if you're not a winning bettor, or if you're not savvy enough to discern what's a good service and what's not, don't buy picks. Because the vast majority of these pick sellers are coin flippers anyways. And sure, there's some good that's in amongst the bad. That happens in every industry where there's advertising and marketing involved. But just stay clear of it, because at the end of the day, you're better off flipping a coin as other people are. You're just not paying a subscription fee on top of it. And it's as simple as that.
Agreed.
Don't really have anything to add other than I do feel like a lot of these pick sellers feel like they are doing good. They're doing a service. Like they see themselves, like in their mind, they're at home.
Yes.
And they're like, I'm providing a service for someone who can afford my service.
Yeah.
With a real job, who likes to bet on football, but they know they're not good at it. They're too busy with their lives to keep up on transactions, depth charts, injuries, and they just want to walk into Sunday with more of a puncher's chance, and they're willing to spend, I don't know what, like $200 a month for that, like, in their mind, like more of a puncher's chance to come out on top. To me, I think a lot of these guys, like, they feel like they are servicing that person.
Well, there's a level of delusion as well, because this industry is built off of marketing, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You could be the best pick. You could have the best picks in the world. Doesn't mean you're going to be the best pick seller in the world. You have to sell your product. You're selling your picks as the product. And when you're constantly selling something as your product and selling that it has value and it has utility, what tends to happen to people is you lie so much that you actually start to believe what you're selling. Like, this is an actual phenomenon in the space. Every pick seller thinks that they are doing good for someone else. There's no there's no tracking of, like, look at the records of these guys that are selling on sites that keep long-term records. It's very clear that they lose, but in their heads, they win. It's something crazy. I mean, it's not even just this industry. It's every product out there in general. This is how marketing works, but it's just more dangerous in this industry because people lose already.
You know, the most dangerous marketing tool in maybe football betting? Warren Sharp's mustache. The power that fucking thing has.
Can't stop staring at it.
No, I don't understand the amount of people that are like literally brainwashed by the mustache. You can't, like, the amount of respected people and unrespected people that shill for him, that are blinded by the mustache, is something that, like, future generations might be able to study.
Well, they talked about that on the Friday show.
Did they do that at Sloan?
They talked about that at the Friday show.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, the Friday show.
I thought you meant at the conference.
No.
Oh.
But
Wait.
Listen.
They didn't do a seminar on Warren's mustache at Sloan Analytics when you were there?
I haven't been in the last few years, but I wouldn't be surprised with the amount of people that are shilling for him nowadays. I mean, listen, the real issue with that book, you get whatever. Listen, I don't think you're going to read, an average fan is going to read any book or preview. Instantly become a winning.
Do you know who that book is good for? And sometimes I could use it for some of the content I do, but hosts who need to fake it.
Oh, well, hosts...
Like, that book is good for studio analysts or hosts of podcasts that, like, need to fake it. And they got the mustache.
Well, the reality is, I don't actually have anything against that type of book. Like,
Me neither.
I don't. Like I used to love reading
It's the
preview
pick
magazines and whatever, but when you're directing someone to that, then there's like the extension of that is his pick service with the emails of like, we've won X amount of money in the last 5 years and the records and whatever. And you're in essence, like when Mina Kimes and Adam Schefter are tweeting about Warren Sharp, they're indirectly sending people to the pick service as well, right? So like, that's where I kind of like, yeah, okay, maybe the book is valuable.
The pick
but like,
service where you can't even get last week's record.
you can't get last week's record. If someone tries to publicly track, you get a phone call from the posse that says, hey, take that down. It's it's violating our terms of service of the pick selling, and we might have to pursue some legal action against you. There's all sorts of BS.
Remember my
along the way.
idea, the nonprofit, to fund legal, to fund legal defenses of illegal tracking.
It's a very insulated operation. Let's put it that way. Very insulated.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just like that theater room he films all those videos in. Very insulated.
All right, Warren Sharp mustache. Can't trust the guy with a mustache at all. Would never. But it's iconic for him, that Warren Sharp mustache. For me, what's iconic for Steve Fezzik is his hair. That's what gets me. But that's the guy with our next topic. We're going to talk a little bit about Fezzik here. Fezzik saying, I see so many B, in quotation, sports bettors and poker guys podcasting. I wonder who he's talking about. Anyways, that have never made much money at all gambling. Yet they are certain they are way, way sharper than guys who have made multi-millions betting / gambling. You cannot make it up. Follows this up because, he hasn't been having the best year. He says, I was up 250 units plus 250 units over the last 5 years. This year I am down minus 46 units. Yes, you didn't hear that incorrectly. Minus 46 units on my service bets. Everyone relax. We have a great portfolio of futures, and I expect to have a monster football season. A lot of people chimed in, Rob, including yourself, kind of bringing up Fezzik's past where he called out Raz. He said, I guess it's just other people that are past their prime then. Fezzik, if you're going to throw stones, you got to expect it back. Couple more comments. Mike, this one's a long one. We can get into it a little bit later, but Rob, since you chimed in already, I want to hear your thoughts about this.
Yeah, so this one in particular was Mike from Right Angle Sports as well, talking about how he still buys Fezzik's picks, and he's saying, they're not fraudulent lines, but he doesn't have access to some of the sites that Fezzik gives out, like the South Point, which is based in Las Vegas. He says he subs nevertheless. I know I'm getting a lot of filtered Hitman and Dr. Bob amongst others, but he still thinks it's worth it. So, this is a really large topic to unpack, right? I think the dismissal of being down 46 units in a year, regardless of how well you've done in the past, it, to me, is where I'm like, no. You've lost half a bankroll in a year. That has a massive impact on anyone who's bought, regardless of what you've been up in the past, right? And the whole notion of like, we have a great portfolio of futures to like offset that. By the way, if someone loses 46 units in a year, do you think they're tailing these futures plays? Like, who is betting this stuff afterwards as well? So like,
that Orioles under.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's what when he says the portfolio of futures.
Yeah.
It's the Orioles under that, it's a great pick. He's been peacocking it pretty much since the Orioles started slow, but I think he's just waiting for baseball futures to cash. I don't think he's talking about the football futures.
Sure.
I'm not defending.
Yeah.
The record
fair.
is bad, but I'm just saying I think he thinks that, I think he's referring to baseball futures that are cashing soon. There's a lot of ugly meat here, though.
Well, this could be a whole show, right? Like the baseball stuff, right? A lot of the recent run or win streak has been amassed from betting like first 3 innings bets, which I don't know. Again, there's a lot of nuance when it comes to tracking, but it's like, where does that fit in, right? How many people have access to first 3 innings markets? Also, if you're betting those and winning pretty consistently, through experience, which I've bet some of those markets, you're losing accounts very quickly as well. Like a lot of this is part of the case, but I just really wonder, because I'm blocked from Steve now. I can't interact with him, even though he still occasionally texts me every now and then. Probably will text me after this show. But I read the replies and like the quote tweets. And I have to wonder at this point whether he is viewing like the engagement as a good thing, or just not reading any of the response.
So he's elf now?
I don't know. I'm just telling you, like 99% of these comments are very negative. Very negative. So he's kind of just like tweeting through this. And at some point, it's got to be exhausting.
It's summertime, Rob. We haven't even hit football season. I'm shocked. Like, I don't... Of everyone in this room, I probably show Steve the most grace. Mm-hmm. I think that's fair to say. I mean, the bar is probably low, but I still might clear it. That being said, I mean, sure, people who are in deep know Steve probably had a bad year. To let people know you were down 46 units to me is crazy. If like part of this is a sales job. Like the bad one, like you almost don't, like he thinks, being transparent is healthy. I almost think it's not. But what makes it worse is to literally show us that you shat your pants, but then stand there like there's no mess and it doesn't smell.
Right. Yeah.
That's the craziest part.
Yeah, like
everyone 46
relax.
unit, and then just be like, bro, if you're gonna shit yourself in front of us, at least like acknowledge you made cucky. It doesn't smell like roses. The room is a mess.
Agreed.
Someone's got to get clean up.
You got to fucking own it. Not we have a great portfolio. And I expect to have a monster football. Why? And why is his expectation to have a monster football season? He fucking lost
hard
in football last year.
It's not easy to have a monster football season.
No, of course it's not. It's not. And again, like he is giving himself an even better chance to win by releasing, like, I release everything that's available at 3 sportsbooks. Well, one is the South Point, one is the Win. Yeah. Like, these are not widely available.
He just put such a microscope, a bigger microscope on himself.
He's got so much pressure for this football year. Why would you do that to yourself?
Like, yeah, we can't just win, be up a few units and consider it like a success in the 1%, like GRP. He's got to go Zalbert type numbers.
You said it about the 3, like, he acts like available at 3 sports books is like a good standard. To me, that's like a horrific standard. 3 sports books, South Point, DK, like anyone who's using a service who's actually winning by themselves, or if you were a winning service, which you documented not this year, like you're just gonna lose those accounts. Like you can only release stuff, like to be down 46 units, releasing only at lines that are available at 3 books, while also sometimes piggybacking plays is like honestly impressive. That like
he self-admittedly on his Twitter account before has admitted to releasing top-down plays. Yes. The majority of his plays are top-down plays. Like he's just looking at the market and picking off bad prices. Everyone can do this. Like why?
Sorry. To have that record while like pawning off Hitman would be like shooting my golf scores while getting Rory's drives.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I'm already I'm already getting.
Well, like it's not in the rundown for this week. Sorry to cut you off, Kirk, but there was another Fezzik tweet this week where it was like I'm paraphrasing here, but it was like, things you should do to be a successful sports bettor. And number 2 was like, get into sharp group chats where you can share plays with one another. And immediately I'm like, yeah, so someone else can go and release them afterwards under their pick package. Like Mike Rass's whole thing about, I know I'm getting some Hitman plays and some Dr. Bob plays. It's like, then just fucking subscribe to their service and give them the money if they're originating the plays. Right? I'm not even suggesting that all of Fezzik's plays are from those guys. He probably is releasing a lot of his own stuff. But like, if the good stuff is coming from other guys, get the subscription from them.
The thing is, like, he has sent me plays, and they do win.
Sure. Yeah.
It's been a while, but and I guess like there's a lot of like, you know, even with some of
Are they the same plays that he's sending on the service?
I have, in full disclosure, I don't sub to any service.
Okay.
That's not.
Is
for
it
me. I
possible
don't bet
that-
enough to sub for a service?
Is it possible that you're getting, let's call them better plays that he can't release on the service for fear of?
Well, it's also probably just a small sample. No, like how many
No,
plays?
yeah, it's not a big sample.
Yeah.
but it through like. Sorry, what was your question?
Well, he's running a pick selling service, right? He can't release like, and this is just a very random example. I'm not saying Fezz would do this, but like can't be like third division soccer.
No, it was none of that.
Right. But I'm just
Even in like with bowl games, and I know it happens because there's such volatility in those bowl games. Like, you know, always getting like really good CLV.
of course.
So like he's got whatever he's tapped into is. I'm not saying it can translate to clients, but whatever he's tapped into is pretty good.
Yeah. I have to see the full breakdown of his record.
Can we go to the first tweet here, quick?
Yeah.
I just want to, like, so this is obviously a tweet at probably the Friday show.
Yeah. That's what I
And
think.
I just want to say, I don't even know if they'll like me saying this. Like, so I talk to Peanut decently regularly. He's a very good sports bettor, but in terms of like Flup is on that show, like the idea that Flup hasn't made much money at gambling.
Yeah.
There are, I can count on one hand people who I think have made more money betting in the past few years than Flup. Like the idea that Flup is a B sports bettor is laughable.
So he's just talking to Joey then?
Well, like no, but I think he's saying this to all of them, but I just don't think he knows. Like to call, like me and Flup are pretty close. We talk a lot. I just think that's a laughable take that Steve obviously has no idea about. I would honestly go on to say, even though Fezzik's been betting for, 20, 25 years, Flup maybe has made more money than him betting.
I would actually place a bet that Flup's net worth is bigger than Steve's, based off of the bet sizing.
Yeah, like it's on Twitter. Like those are Flup's bets that he posts. Those are six.
I mean, we're never going to solve that, so there's no point in doing that.
The biggest winner in Steve's tout service, if it's not Steve and it's not the clients, is Saginaw's.
For sure.
the steakhouse.
No, the deli.
The deli.
That's
because
Circa.
the lunches for the client. Those
The
are
Reubens, for the
those are
clients and
expensive
stuff like that.
Reubens.
Oh, I thought he takes them out for a steak dinner.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
Is it a
lunch
sandwich?
I don't know.
Imagine
No,
betting
I take it back.
$1,000 a
I take it
game,
back.
and then subscription fees on top of that, losing $46,000 in a year, like $50,000 plus with subscription fees, and then being offered to go to have a steak dinner with the guy that lost you $50K.
Most people who are buying a service, like, sure, some of it are in it for recreational and getting the money, but I can't imagine there's like any average guy who's like summer has gone well, who they've been in a good mood with their children, getting crushed betting baseball every day.
I want to jump in here though, because that's fine to say about
Like-
general pick services, but like Steve Fezzik's pick service is trying to separate himself from every other pick service, right? Trying to say that he's like more of a boutique premier pick selling service. So it's like you're advertising yourself as this great bettor, but you're down 46 units. I don't know.
Sometimes you have to look inwards and say, I'm shedding the bed. And if you're down 46 units in a season, it's no one else's fault. Don't tell them to relax. You're down 46 units. Look inwards and say, I fucked up.
What a miscalculation of a tweet and a thread
the
to
first
go
tweet,
on.
if the first one, which I think is most certainly directed at the Friday show. Thank you for watching, Steve, by the way. We do appreciate it. But, okay, like, they are certain they are way, way sharper than guys who have made multi-millions betting gambling, right? This reads like the tweet of a dinosaur, right? Of like, I've had like this successful career, and I will just be very honest. I am past my peak when it comes to sports betting, right? I am. My biggest edges existed in the past. I'm trying to always find ways to continuously make money. I don't have the edges that I did in the hockey market before. Football is getting worse. Everything kind of gets worse for me from an origination perspective over time. That's just how it is for me.
How it goes for pretty much everyone.
Right. I try to find other ways to earn. I earn off of other people's bets nowadays a lot, just because it's a way for me to earn. I have tons of accounts. Too many accounts. That's one of the beautiful things of running this program. People reach out to me all the time. Rob, I want to bet with you. I'm like, that's great. I am betting to my max. I give accounts to other people who win. I get a percentage of it. There's ways that you can make money in the space. But I am willing to admit when, there are people that Kirk is sharper than me. Flup is sharper than me. They have found ways to make more money in the current landscape than I can. And that's okay. I don't care. I've made a ton of money in sports betting. I don't have to work anymore. I could do whatever the fuck I want to do. But this reads as it's like comparing Hall of Fame resumes. That's not what it's about. It's about now. It's about what are you doing in the space now. And if you are selling picks and losing 46 units in a year, you have nothing to hang your hat on. Nothing. Because you've chosen to sell picks and make that public. If you rode off into the sunset with whatever gambling money you've made and you just stayed quiet, no one would question your legacy or integrity or whatever. But you've lived it out in a public forum. And when you do that, you open yourself up to criticism. And the people that are part of this program are very successful bettors, whether you like it or not. Sorry, Geoff. Sorry, Jason. But the people that you're calling
That's not what I'm here to do.
into question are doing really, really well for themselves nowadays. A lot better than you are. So forget about this legacy debate and whether or not this is the current landscape. People have figured out how to win. And right now, Steve hasn't. And that's what it comes down to. At least he hasn't on his service. If privately he has, I don't know. I can't speak to that. But what's public, it's losing. Simple as that.
Well said.
Yeah, well said. My biggest question here is: do you guys think if Steve is paying for the steak dinner, or is that on the pick buyers, the clients as well, to pay for the?
No. I think he's paying for this.
Of course.
I don't know.
Speaking of this guy over here.
Here we go.
He sends a tweet when we're in Chicago talking about me and George having short arms about a meal that you paid for. So he is like
short arms.
Like not reaching for the bill.
T-Rex are.
Like Jason is bragging that he had to cover it, or he's the big champ of the situation.
And he expenses
and before that happened, Pizzola paid. So he's getting credit while taking a shot, an undeserved shot. George was a lovely, host. Yeah, so there. Thanks. Finally got that out on Jason.
All right. Yeah, you were waiting to get that shot out on me. All right.
That's not being accused of being to strangers.
That's a tough look, Jay.
Cheap's not a. That's I'm not saying it's with the you can't come back from looks, but that's not a look anyone wants. Being put out to strangers who just believe things on the internet.
Well, this is the norm for him, though, right? Remember when he did his investigative research into Taylor Mathis's passes?
Talking about return fire, they were talking about that you did something on the Friday show. Wasn't it just totally wrong?
No, it was right. It was right.
No, he definitely investigated something before that was completely wrong.
Yeah,
He tweeted about it. Hey, Taylor Mathis, where's this?
The guy didn't get paid.
Oh, she said the guy because it was a sponsored thing. So it was within 24 hours.
No, it was not. You guys are completely making this up now. It was 5 or 6 days, which is way different than 24 hours.
But it's a sponsored thing. It's she's the middleman between the third by.
Oh, it was a giveaway or something like that.
Yeah, it was a giveaway.
So you have to allow a little bit of leeway for the
statute of limitations.
They went blazing a day later.
It was not a day.
It was a day.
Thank God this came up because the Friday show were talking about how that you did such good investigative journalism.
You know what? I'm in the process of doing investigative journalism right now, but you know what? Now I'm not going to do it. Now I'm going to throw it out, and the people are going to suffer as a result of it.
It's probably against Fezz, I assume.
You're right. You nailed it. Anyways, I think the people wanted to know about it, but now Jeff, Kirk, you guys ruined it.
That's
for
not
everyone
true.
else.
You're just too lazy to finish the game.
All right.
He's just not sure about his research and he doesn't want to be on record with it.
Let's go through a couple more tweets with the Fezzik related stuff. He mentioned this earlier, but Shine the Prof highlighting it. It is very difficult to sell the bets I make. It's just about the worst sales pitch ever.
Yeah, like the woe is me. Oh, it's really tough to be in my position where I need to, have cite 3 sports books and like come on.
Imagine being Fezzik, being down 46 units, but woe is me. I have all my subscribers' money to help alleviate that. I wonder how his subscribers feel. Next up is Dakuchi Bets. Fezzik giving Nadu a real run for his money in terms of outsized self-importance and general distance from reality. Look, the summer heat makes you people on this website redacted. I disagree with this. I think Nadu is pretty down to earth, but whatever, that's fine. To each their own.
Nadu is not down to earth.
I think he is. He's a little bit. I don't know. I think he's a nice guy. Anyways, whatever.
No, Nadu's gonna fucking probably have a 9-tweet thread.
Yeah, but he never liked you. He never liked you.
He never liked me.
He called you out in our offline, circle back chat before. Like, Kirk, what the fuck's your problem?
For me,
you're a mark.
with something Geoff said. But that's okay.
You're a mark.
But to argue that Nadu has a firm sense of reality, I think is incorrect.
I'm a big fan of Nadu's.
No, what's great
I think
about
it's
them all is they live in their own world, and it's their world, and that's what makes.
But we all
them
do in
live.
a sense.
Yeah, of course,
Fair.
of course.
We all do in a sense.
Theirs
more
is
than
just
others.
further away, so.
I put out a tweet today that was like, if you could never share a winning sports bet again with anyone, like would you still bet? And I in my reality, there's so many new bettors who've come into the space nowadays who are they bet for clout, basically,
100%.
right? They bet to tell their friends that they won a bunch of money. They don't even really care about but people are shitting on me. They're like, how is this even a question? I'm like, you don't think that exists?
Well, no, because here's the thing: you got a buddy who runs a liquidation warehouse, and he makes great deals and makes a fortune. He's not sharing that with his friends who are a real estate agent or work in digital sales. So it's people are making their money how they're making their money in their industry, and they're not sharing that with their friends. Their friends just know they're doing.
Yeah.
They have a good job. So from your perspective, I would see it kind of as no different.
Well, but from my perspective, I've now realized 100% of my followers are all winning bettors. They're all I do it to win money.
The people who engage with you and follow you, I feel are definitely the sharper side, so that's why.
No,
and also, no one's responding to that being yeah, I would never bet again if I
had a few of those responses, but they're few and far between. Someone's yeah.
It's like saying, would you cure a disease without being able to get credit for curing the disease?
Someone mentioned that they would be more likely to stop betting if they if they weren't able to share their losing bets.
Well,
They're I get so much joy about from sharing near wins or whatever.
I don't know if you know, but Matty Z does it for the clout. That's why he only bets high 2 figures, because the people seeing him dominate is what matters, not the money.
I have a feeling we're going to get a few comments from Matt Zilbert, superfan, down below.
Speaking of which, if you're watching the video right now, drop a comment down below on your thoughts about this whole Fezzik be better pick relating stuff. One more tweet to get to here from Adrian Badgerowski at Badger Sports Service. So when do you resize your bets? Losing half your roll means you bet half your original size. So Steve needs to win 100 units to get back to 0 now. But if all these futures are tying up more bankroll, is the actual working bankroll 25% of the original bankroll? Hashtag circle back. And reminder, you can always get in on the conversation by tweeting at us, hashtag circle back.
Is there any particular reason why you're talking like this today, Jay?
What?
In a very slow, methodical, robotic type.
He struggled at the opening, and he's just trying to hit it smooth, I think.
What is going on here?
I didn't know.
What is going on here?
Is anyone not? Is it just me? I could be completely out. I've just noticed this this very mechanical almost tone.
I don't know. We'll check the comments afterwards to see if they agree with you. I don't really know.
a fantastic tweet. And in the RAS section, I talked about how I don't think pick sellers track correctly. This is another one. Bet resizing, insanely important. You can't just say I'm up 250 units, then I'm down 40 units, but it equals to 210. That's not how it works. You resize your bankroll. If you lose 46 units, you've lost 46% of your bankroll. You're not up, 210 units. It would be way less than that. Again, same thing. If you win it back after losing 40 units, it's not the equivalent. Like if you lose 46 units, then win 46 units, you're not at zero. So yeah, that's just another way that pick sellers don't track.
I'm looking at Geoff right now.
I
I see like the Zach Galifianakis numbers going around his head trying to decipher.
I mean, it makes sense, and I believe him. But yeah, when you resize the units, you gotta.
I mean, listen. In fairness to 8, I cannot confirm or deny whether Fezzik was actually up the 250 units that he claimed to be. But technically, if he was, then this drawback would be a big one, but you'd still be I will provide that context so it's fair. It's not like everyone who got in at the exact starting point where he went down on like a 46 unit slide. But yes, this is valid.
So maybe it's time to get in. He's gonna get hot.
Maybe.
Yeah, speaking of being hot, I want to go back to this one because the summer heat makes you people on this website will not say that word, but I'm just going to call out Geoff and Kirk. Very bold move of you guys to wear shorts today.
Yeah.
I think it's going great.
Choice.
I wish you guys gave me. I'm fucking hot.
It's the first time. I don't know. The ham hocks are out, but it's just too fucking hot.
Yeah,
so
I walked over here. I could not walk over here in pants. It's too hot.
I went with the floral shirt for the summer vibes.
Absolutely.
I'm sure I'm going to get commentary again this week on the shirt that I'm wearing, but
I like that one.
it's pretty good. I think.
right.
I'm not sure I would wear it myself, but solid.
I mean, you wear plain white T-shirts every week, so this is not a Kirk shirt.
Nah, yeah, definitely.
All right, maybe that was a false equivalency from me, and let's move to another false equivalency here. Tweet from John Arnold, U.S. News survey of Americans who've placed a bet in the past 6 months. Lists a bunch of stats. 25% have been unable to pay a bill because of gambling. Listen, we went through this last week on the Friday show, so if you want to check it out, go check out the Friday show after we're done this video. But this isn't the tweet we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the next one coming from Chamath, who is early investor in Facebook, has kind of made his name in the Twitter streets, in the public sphere, by talking a lot about, I don't know how to describe it, maybe financial advice, just someone who talks a lot
Yeah,
about
the All In podcast is where I feel like he's probably most known from.
There
right now.
it is, the All In podcast. All right, I didn't do my research there. Sorry, guys. But anyways, here he is saying terrible look for online sports gambling. Individual states are poorly run by governors and state houses with very little financial acumen. So they run deficits or misallocate capital and then turn to simple, superficial ways to generate revenue like sports gambling. Turns out it creates negative societal consequences. In that way, sports gambling is equivalent to the legalization of marijuana in its corrosiveness to a healthy, well-functioning society. I mean, do you guys agree with that take, where sports betting is the same as weed legalization? I mean, there's a lot of.
I just find it such an odd take from I think he would certainly consider himself a right-leaning person who is typically more on the freedom side and you get to make personal choice. So I just find it so odd to think that you should be able to take away those people's choice. If people want to gamble on sports or want to smoke weed, I think that is pretty clearly something they should be able to do. I think we've talked about this endlessly about I think there should clearly be some more regulation, and I think the actual regulators don't know what they're doing. But also to me, I like to look at things in terms of what if they were totally neutral? Let's say sports gambling, marijuana, and alcohol, we were deciding if all of them should be legal or illegal. They're all probably reasonably similar in terms of corrosiveness. But the thing is, since we have lived in a life where sports gambling and marijuana weren't legal, we're oh, why did we legalize them? But if we wanted to make alcohol illegal, people would say that's they would march on the street. So I think you have to give people choice within reason, but at the same time, you have to regulate within reason as well.
Oh, so many things I want to touch on there. I don't view marijuana as anywhere close to being anything of the sports gambling industry, I would say. Like marijuana's downsides.
Which are you saying marijuana is less bad?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
would
like,
agree.
you know, there's upsides to marijuana. There's medicinal
agree.
upsides, helps people sleep, helps me watch Planet Earth at night, you know, whatever the hell else I'm doing. You know, I don't, gambling, I think, so like, to me, I think he actually made some decent points in like the mid paragraph. I don't necessarily agree, but I can understand the train of thought there. I think that there's like this, it's really challenging because I understand the negative consequences that are associated with sports gambling, but I don't think it's necessarily just sports gambling that brings those consequences. I think it's how it's been rolled out, right? I think it's a legislative issue. I've talked about this before, right? I think, and Geoff's brought it up about like the countless commercials we see nonstop. Like there could have been a way to roll out sports betting where it had less negative consequences to society as a whole. So I don't know that it's necessarily like because of poor financial acumen from like governors and state houses. I just think it's just people regulating an industry that really don't know what they're doing or didn't understand the downside that could come with it. I don't care about the legalization, like the comparison to the legalization of weed. I think that's just like a really weird comparison, honestly. I will say though, to your point, Kirk, like the fact that he's right-leaning and has this take, I think is actually kind of healthy. Because I think nowadays, people's takes are pretty much influenced entirely by whether they are blue or red, left or right, and they're like stuck in that corner of like, it's basically everything's black and white. So I kind of find it refreshing when someone has a take that may not align with their political views.
Yeah, okay, so I agree with you in terms of people are very like dogmatic in all their political views are just whichever team they're on, which I do think is quite bad. But to me, it's more so like I would say if you asked Chamath, like how is he on a 1 to 10 scale pro freedom, he would probably say he's a 9 or 10, but then wanting to not have marijuana or sports gambling legalization, that's like misaligned with his opinion. So I agree. I think not being aligned with where your party stands is very healthy. Yeah. I agree. But to me, it's more a misalignment with what he would say his opinions are.
I mean, they've allowed the books to get whatever they want and to bully the market and to bully the consumer and to ban anyone who shows a pulse, even if they've never even withdrawn $1 from you. So, I mean, I think he's right. I think the government, at least where we are, has proven to be the worst fucking drug dealer on the history of Earth. The least profitable drug dealer ever. But they might even be a worse bookie. From like at least meeting their goals. Because a bookie actually wants to dominate the customer. The government should just be trying to create a fair and balanced playing field. And they have not allowed for us to get anywhere close to it.
Well, like the last thing I'll say on this is that like people forget before the legalization of gambling, people were still gambling, right? You weren't seeing all the ads nonstop.
There was less people were gambling.
Way less people.
So that's a good thing.
No, it can and can't be, but like there are negatives associated with like. I've literally met with guys before that are like they're carrying guns when I'm going to meet with them to collect money.
Whatever.
Like that's not
bring what you owe.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Sure, but like, you know what I'm getting at.
I'd rather someone show up with a gun than me be betting money I don't fucking have and then being charged 30%
Jeff,
interest.
My point.
I'd rather like when I owe you $5,000, you're holding a gun as I pay you $5,000.
I know, but the point is that people have always been betting with money that they don't have. It's continuing.
Okay,
now.
so then you show up with enough so your bookie won't need to use the gun.
It's happening
and you
at
kick the can down the road because the bookie wants to keep you alive. The bookie doesn't want you dead. The bookie wants you to pay enough where he trusts you, and he wants you to keep betting. That's bookie 101.
Sure.
You don't even have to pay all at once. You just need to pay enough where you just have to pay enough where you don't upset them, and you kick the can down the road.
My point is that.
And you're not, and most of them aren't charging you a vig. So crazy ones are, but most of them aren't.
All I'm
Unless you're up a
all I'm
stupid
saying is
number.
pre-regulation, this stuff was happening. It was happening quietly.
Sounds
you didn't
healthy.
You didn't hear about it.
Sounds healthier than what's happening is my point.
I agree.
A couple people staring down a gun versus gambling being made cool to
I
12-year-olds who
agree
love
with that.
sports.
That's where I draw the line.
There is no comparison to me, which is a worse outcome for us.
So, but when he says, turns out it created negative societal consequences, there's always been negative societal consequences with gambling. When it was not regulated, there was tons of negative societal consequences of gambling. There's still debt. There's again, no means to properly collect money. There's all sorts of problems that came with that. Regulation should have, obviously the goal of regulation was to create some sort of tax money and some benefit for the government as a whole. It was always going to become more mainstream. It's just become too mainstream. I just go back to the rollout of sports betting across North America as a whole. Could have been done in a way that was less harmful to everyone involved. There could have been limits, responsible gaming limits instituted right away out the door, where you can't bet more than X amount of money or whatever, right? I'm not saying I'm the person that's giving the best solutions here necessarily, but I think it's more so the rollout of legalization.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, listen, if they're looking for my advice, Chamath, I think you're more mad at how the government is run than with sports betting. I don't think he's looking for my advice, but one person who is Mike at Rass, at Mike R_Rass. This is a little bit of a long one.
This is the same one.
This is the same Mike Rass.
So this is the real account. The other one is this the business account?
No, it's the exact same account, tweeting about both.
No. This isn't the guy who runs the RAS account.
Okay.
You're thinking of Ed.
Yeah.
Ed Golden.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is a long one, so strap in if you're an audio listener, because I want to read this entire situation out for you guys. So Mike tweets, X, I need advice on how to handle a situation. Next door neighbors recently put up a fence when they built a pool. My 13-year-old plays soccer, and sometimes the ball is leaving the yard. We have a full-size goal that backs up to the fence. He says the fence is like 10 yards away. That we do plan on moving to the other side of the yard so the ball stops flying into the pool area. But in meantime, woman next door, owner's girlfriend, comes over and looks visibly shaken. I think something is terribly wrong, like someone assaulted her. She lets me know the following: soccer balls are semi-regularly coming into the pool. Kids are sometimes climbing the fence to get the ball and get told it's an expensive fence and that kids should not be on the fence. Kids are coming in to get the ball without asking. A ball once hit her car. I, of course, find all this unacceptable and am livid and ready to strangle my kids. I'm so mad at them, livid. I then ask her what the kids should do, if a ball goes into her yard. She says it's gone forever. Not proud of my reaction after that, but I went from sympathetic to ready to have her committed. I understand she has a right to privacy and the rules have been drawn, but is the ball gone forever reasonable? Let's say a ball is flying once a day. I mean, Geoff, I feel like you're equipped to this. You have some kids.
I mean,
so.
I just reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah,
There's like a near neighbor on the block, and we knew if it went to that backyard, that was trouble. But other backyards, you could go in freely without fear of anything. And then there were certain people, if it touched their grass, you were afraid to go get it. I mean, the simplest solution is just don't delay, move the net. Like you say, we're in the process of moving the net, move the net. I don't even believe her that they're gone forever. I don't think she's collecting soccer. A 60-year-old woman is looking to have a soccer ball.
Do you know what 60-year-old?
We just said an older
owner's girlfriend.
Owner's girlfriend. It looks
Owner's
could be young.
Okay, sorry, I read that wrong. I don't know. I don't think she's looking for a collection of balls, but it sucks. The lines are drawn. When the ball goes back there, it almost feels like there has to be a collection that happens at the end of the day by the parent, because they don't. I think it's fair for them to be we don't want you climbing our fence,
yes,
jumping into our yard that also has a pool. You have kids,
yes.
There's usually rules about enclosing even outdoor pools, so she might worry about one of the kids falling into her pool.
Yes.
So there just has to be a relationship where she can, at the end of the day, just throw the balls on your side of the driveway or something. Like, that's it. That sucks, but that's what I got.
There's like a rational agreement that is somewhere in between the ball is gone forever.
Yeah.
You know, like, they're kids. Like, me and my brother used to play in the backyard, and we used to throw ball in the backyard, and we'd always try to make like a leaping grab over the fence. You first, like, try to time it so that you could, like, that was what we do when we were kids, like just stealing a home run, right? Balls would go in my neighbor's yard all the time. I'd run around to the fence, and he's like an older guy, and he'd be like, don't go into the.
You're probably crushing their tomatoes, Rob.
Plants, and then he would just throw them back over after a while, and you just come to like an agreement. This is like fucking like Bond villain type of shit. Like, we're keeping all the balls. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, I agree with you. Have some, like, it's kids. At the end of the day, just be like, listen, I don't want the kids coming into the yard. We have a pool. There's liability. At the end of the night, every night I'll throw the balls back over, or once a couple times a week. Just don't have them come in the yard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a very normal, reasonable thing.
I would even think, like, it doesn't even have to be like when she's like she's going out in her yard, she sees the ball, she can just throw it back. Like, it doesn't even have to be like she has to keep them for 2 days. She should be able to instantaneously, when she sees them, return them. But the easiest solution is you're gonna have to just get an extra ball or two, and you obviously can't have the net up against that fence. That's.
I mean, you're gonna have to. It sucks. You're gonna have to adapt. Like, it's a little like the final sentence. Let's say a ball is flying in once a day.
But I agree that you're a father, you're trying to be calm and sympathetic, and this woman is gonna tell you gone forever.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. That's when lines are drawn. That's when now. Oh no. Now we are in like a
it's basically like a Cold War between the two houses.
Like, now, like, what music don't you like? Like, that's the music that I will be playing.
Or your shed might be a little bit too close to the fence, the property line. Maybe by law enforcement's going to get a call type of situation.
Right. Like, you don't. These are dirty games, and not if you've got like the time like Real Fats has, you can lay a number on these people.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me, the biggest takeaway here is, Mike, you got to get your kid better at soccer if he's listening to that so much. Like, what are we doing here?
That's not fair.
Okay, sorry. That was obviously meant to be as a joke.
Performance here.
It's like.
Yeah, it happens.
Kids are having fun in the yard.
Yeah,
they could be trying like crazy trick shots
for them to play.
Like crazy trick shots.
Fair.
Like trying to hit the post or something.
Every child who's ever played in their backyard understands that balls go over the fence.
Yes.
And Jeff's right. Sometimes like, I don't go in this person's yard because they've told me not to go in their yard before. But guess what? They throw the balls back over. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some others, maybe they're more lenient. You kind of have to feel it out. If somebody tells you stop going in the yard, you don't go anymore. But at some point, they should just give the balls back, because at the end of the day, it's fucking kids. Like, I don't know if this girl had kids in the pool and they got smoked in the head by a ball coming over the fence. Maybe a different story, and I can understand why there would be a bad reaction. But children are playing. Like, let them be kids.
If there's one thing I know about kids, they'll do basically anything to get those balls back. So if you tell them gone forever, they'll figure out a way, like Miss Finster recess style. It won't be good. But anyways, let's move on to our next topic here. Before we do, just a quick word from our sponsor.
What's up, everyone? Jason Cooper here. Some of you know me as Takes by Jay on Twitter. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm the sharpest better on this network. That title apparently belongs to Uncle K. Just ask him. But I do know this. Supporting our sponsors is one of the best ways to help us keep making content. We're picky about who we work with. If it's not a good product or something we'd actually use, we don't promote it, period. So if you're watching this and you want to support what we're building at The Hammer, check out the sponsor in the description below. You clicking that link helps me keep talking sports and occasionally saying something smart.
All right, we're going to take a look at the comments section right now from last week's video. And a reminder, if you want to get in on the conversation, drop your comments in the comment section down below. We're going to start off with this one from Ricky Pucks. When Geoff mentioned the poker games around Chesswood Arena, my immediate reaction was I 1,000% could see a super shady high stakes poker game happening in some building in that area. I mean, this is so inside baseball
very
for us.
Yeah.
Also, Ricky Pucks, great name, by the way, for this comment. Geoff, any thoughts on the Chesswood Arena?
Yeah, just looks like a warehouse from the outside, but you walk in, it's a very nice poker room, and
Yeah, they're the unit.
Yeah.
I mean, this was my entire youth. Yeah. There was like hundreds of units across the city that people would set up and run like games out of. It's just the way it was growing up. Thank Chris Moneymaker for that, the poker boom.
Fair enough. All right, on to the next one. Coming from Nelson Patinoade, probably pronouncing that wrong. I have noticed that the better you are at betting, the worse your hairline is. Rob is losing it fast. Kirk is younger and losing it faster, while Geoff and, let's say, Jason have tremendous hairlines. Kirk has the George Springer going on. That's, you know what, the George Springer's kind of tough. Kirk,
I'm considering getting plugs. This might get me over the line.
You know what? There's something to this. You know, me and you struggling. China, great better, completely bald. Kanish, horrible better, still got his hair.
Oh, look at Fezzik, full head. A beautiful head of hair. Just
He does have great hair. He really does have great hair. Yeah. I mean, there's something to it. I don't know. My hairline has always been it's receded quite a bit, but it's always been.
I think Rufus has great hair, though, doesn't he? Or am I missing that?
No, Rufus has good hair.
And Drew Dinsink, great hair.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Lockie, bald. Costos, beautiful hair.
I guess there is at least a small correlation. I've placed a lot of big bets in my life, uncomfortably large bets. I think that's contributed.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm not scared to admit it, but I certainly lost hair because of bets. Like I'm certain.
All right.
But you even watch, like, outside of prime time games?
I used to watch, Geoff.
Okay.
I used to watch. Thank God for Derek Fisher nailing that three at the buzzer against the Spurs.
Okay, good for you.
All right, next one here from Good Grooves 5330. I'm curious, from an ignorant position such as myself, or even as a good bettor / gambler, how do you know when other people are good bettors? It all seems to be cloaked in secrecy. How would I know whether or not Rob does place good bets? Rob?
It's a really good question.
It's a great question.
It's actually really good.
But, like, can you give three things?
Well, I would say the honest answer here is great bettors tend to build up good networks where they know other great bettors, and then you just communicate over time behind the scenes. Like, I know we joke a lot about like the hard vouch, soft vouch, or whatever, but you tend to meet a lot of other bettors through vouching, right? Through someone saying, I worked with Kirk and he's done great, it was whatever. So I don't know that there's actually a good solution for this. And I would suggest, even as I tell you, like, Kirk is a great bettor, you know, I've done well myself, I would still suggest taking everything you hear online with a grain of salt. Even when it comes from someone who you think you know and you think you respect, I think it's fair to question everything, really, and that should be your mindset. But the reality is, we just know each other through kind of experience. I don't know how that there's a better answer than that.
I think it's exactly that. Yeah, like, this is a topic that's talked about a lot amongst bettors, and like I would say there's like buckets of like, this guy's obviously good, this guy's like a LARPer, this guy's in between. So like, yeah, you kind of just hear things, but there are definitely a lot of people out there who, like, I would say the general Twitter community think are good, who suck.
I would.
But is this person, like, obviously, like, you know, pros vouching among other pros, but I feel like he's talking about, like, I am a casual like myself. Like, how do I tell if someone knows what they're doing? Like, clearly, if someone is, I know enough to know, someone is like making their bets on Sunday mornings and touting them.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, but like, is that strictly based on like seeing someone bet early, seeing someone get CLV?
Those are signs. So for
like,
sure, I would say that those are signs. But like, so I went from casual bettor to sharp bettor, right? And like the light bulb moment for me was other sharp people, at least people that I think are sharp. I have a good, like Rufus would be an example, right? I think I've always known Rufus is sharp in some capacity since the beginning of time, since I first came across his name. So it's now, is he engaging respectfully with another person? And if that's the case, I kind of lump them in. So if they're having a conversation about sports betting, I kind of transferred, I basically looked at the community as a whole and who's engaging with one another and the manner in which they're doing so. And that led me to believe that, like, for a long time, I had people coming after me on Twitter, Seville guys, back in the day. To their credit, nowadays, they were absolutely right to call me an idiot, because I was. I was a talking head that followed a lot of sports, thought I was going to be good at betting sports. These people were very vocal, and listen, they probably could have approached it in a way where they didn't call me like the things that they did, but I just dismissed it for a while. And then over time, I started seeing kind of how the community interacts. I'm like, you know what? These guys probably know something and are onto something, and that should change my opinion. That's basically the way it works for me. I think you can look at the circles of people that interact with one another, and you can gain a lot of valuable, meaningful stuff out of that. If you know for certain, or with a high degree of probability, that someone is a fraud, the people that are interacting with them pretty regularly, likely not going to be on the sharp side. If you know with a high degree of probability that someone is sharp, the people they're interacting with regularly are probably going to be on the sharp side. It's not like a 100% rule of thumb, but that's the way I would approach these types of situations. And the reality is, you can never know for sure. So don't just blindly bet anything or tail someone or believe everything you say, but that's how I would approach it.
Agree with that for sure.
Yeah. Geoff, anything there or no?
No, I mean, I'm still like, hey, I'm not aspiring to be a pro bettor, but again, it's just sort of like as a casual, like just picking up as many like little tips as possible, to the point where now it's like I'll get together with my buddies on Sunday morning and I'll be like the boring guy, like, no, I was done betting 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. Like, I learned enough a few years ago to know, like, if I'm not getting my bets in by then, they're just, I miss the boat, and I'm not betting.
Yeah.
Other than like primetime games, I'm a bit of a sucker for standalone football. I mean that, but I don't have hobbies, and I'm home, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I'll swallow enough L's.
I do that. I didn't see that question, but I'd like to think about that more. I'll maybe put a video out on that one day, because I think that's a really interesting topic, right?
But it's like tiered and leveled, because like to different like levels of bettors, like that's a different answer.
Well, and there's also so much misinformation. Like, for example, there's been a very clear falling. We all used to interact on Spaces. There's been a very clear falling out because of like the poker scandal that happened with Man of the Vig and Bluebeard and Flop, and what you were dragged into it because you sponsored like Adam and Earl's, but there's been a very clear divide now, right? So if anyone were to go into those spaces, in the Elf spaces in particular, and they were to hear the conversation around guys like us or Storm or whatever, you'd have Brett mouthing off that like, oh, these guys are fucking frauds or whatever. But I would just say, like, look at the people that they are interacting with regularly, and that would give you a pretty good idea of where they stand in the totem pole or pecking order. And then look at the people that we're regularly, like, this is not some coordinated effort from like 200 sharps to mislead everyone. I mean, guys that we have on the Friday, like Porter, China, Mr. Peanut Butter, like, these are very, very good bettors that everyone who works with would attest to. So just like follow the circles.
Yeah.
Follow the circles. Interesting pun there. Anyways, let's move on to the chopping block. I mean, Rob, you talked about doing stuff for yourself and kind of learning for yourself. It seems like this couple at the Yankees game wanted to figure some things out for themselves to see maybe if they would get caught, not caught. For those who don't know, if you've been living under a rock for the past, like, let's call it 16 hours, Twitter account @CutterIsKing tweets out a video that unfortunately we can't show, but we have screenshots of. He says, "Nice to see Yankee Stadium is still a great place to bring the family." And in the video, I don't know how to describe it, but there is a guy with a Phillies hat, and he's there with his girlfriend, New York Yankees shirt, and his hand is maybe somewhere it shouldn't be on her body in a public place.
Use a baseball analogy. Is that like getting to second
Getting
base?
to second base. That's actually a great one. So, I mean, this is just the craziest thing. I never knew how to preview this, but there's been a couple videos coming out. There's another one from Cutter as King. Oh my God, it's gone even worse. And you can see him leaning in. Another one where she's leaning into him. I mean, it's gone a little bit crazy now.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up, though, my favorite tweets from as a result of this. My favorite one right now is from Professor Jack Geoff. He said, "We've all done this before," which I mean, so on brand for his name. I love it. And then there's Big Content Guy. Imagine trying to watch your bullpen get out of a jam, and the guy next to you is just absolutely resetting his chick's router. Patches O'Houlihan at Sandra on Twitter said Pedro Pascal when he has anxiety. Great topical tweet if anyone's been watching the Fantastic Four rollout. Rob Gucci at Heat Daddy, another great follow. Darting your chick's box with a Phillies flat brim on is insane. And then I gotta send my condolences to Johnny there, because he says, my girlfriend had the pleasure of visiting Yankee Stadium yesterday with her friend Dave. He always wears a Phillies hat and a jersey and offered to take her, which was awesome. Hope they had a great time. Tough bounce for Johnny there. Any thoughts, guys?
I mean, it's I'm all for passion at the ballpark, but I think this is pushing the boundaries. I don't know. I went to a concert last year in Montreal where
Where's this going?
where I saw where people were having sex at the concert.
Oh.
Like, I've seen people having sex. I was in the general admission floors, and I was like to the right side of the stage, and there was like a ruckus happening beside me. So I turned over, and a bunch of people were leaving the section. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I realized what was happening. So I've seen this happen in person, and it kind of, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought it was pretty funny. Like, the people around were like, if I was sitting like right behind these people, I'd be like, what the fuck is going, like, I'd be really upset. But from far away, I was having a pretty good laugh. So I don't know. I would just say at the ballpark, like, there's kids with, like, you know, eating Cracker Jacks, like, fucking, like, you know, 10 feet away. I don't know that I would be going down that.
That's wild. That being said, like, as crazy as it is, like a modicum of respect, like, you got the guts to pull that off, like, crazy. Usually, you know, we'll see a few of this. It is the last year of Ralph Wilson Stadium. You know, we've seen a few finger darts or like a few things. Everything goes down there. So it's just getting us ready for football season. But I don't know. Fuck the Yankees. Fuck the Philly fan. Fuck them all.
Not literally, by the way. Not literally.
No, have these people been outed at IRL? Like, it seems like there's enough identification markers.
Yeah, no.
And the thing's gone viral enough.
seen-
Like, not quite the Coldplay affair viral, but it's gone viral enough where,
Yeah, it'll come out.
Yeah.
I will say, you know, like, I think,
but now you want to see a frontal.
I don't even care. I just,
Like, you just want to see what she looks like. I don't mean you want to see her naked. You just want to see.
I thought a frontal was like from the other angle.
No, I don't care. Like, you almost want to just see. Now, I just want to see a
Jack.
picture of them
Fair.
at her sister's wedding.
Fair.
Like what they look like. What in normal society these two look like.
about 15 years ago, we were like co-producing Red Heat with Cam Stewart at the Score, and Cam's like not a traditional. He loves viral shit like this, but back in the day, it was so hard to find this stuff. So we would like accumulate them over the course of a week or two, and usually they would be like clips that were sent down in whatever that system was we were using. It's like, oh, like, you know, like the Phillies mascot like trips while he's running the bases, and like Cam would do like a minute segment on it and how it was, and he'd make it funny. I imagine, I can't help but think, and this is just a me story, like if we ran that show today with Cam, and it would be, there's so many like viral things, so many things that can be talked about on a daily basis that come across my timeline. I almost get overloaded by the amount of shit that I see.
Well, that old show you could have just produced from like Glory Days Deadspin.
Yeah.
Page. Like it was pretty much just running Cam off through the Deadspin headlines at peak Deadspin.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about
There was other sites, it was like Sports by Brooks.
Sports
and,
by Brooks, Therese Owens.
Yeah.
There was Yeah,
but
a
it was,
lot of that shit.
I used to have to work so hard to find like a good clip that we could put into the show, and now I could just produce that in like.
But
5
even like
minutes.
Barstool 1.0 to me was useful to just they'd just have like a compilation video of all the insanity that happened at like in the Bills tailgates that day.
Yep.
So they would just do all the work for us. It's not gonna lie.
It's true.
Well,
Like the other guy, like Fezz's pick sheet.
You're just finding a way to work them into everything.
Sorry,
Not me, Steve.
This video also
Don't send
would've-
me the text. You got Jeff's number.
Listen, let's get into the
he's
next.
got my DM,
All right, let's
and
get
they're open. Peace and love. Peace and love.
next one coming up here. I will say before we get off this topic, us local Toronto guys, we had a similar experience to the Yankees fan there. I believe last year there was a couple in the nosebleeds, thinking that they were a little bit more private.
Oh, wasn't it? I thought you were talking about the hotels.
No,
With
no,
the window open.
The Rogers Center Hotel.
I'm sure
There's a
there's
video
been
from that too,
Yeah.
but I think I know what Jason's
Yeah,
talking
I mean
about.
that might have been 2 years ago. Anyways, they weren't using their head. Maybe they need a helmet. Speaking of helmets, next one right here. Someone fell off the raft when the Browns did the helmet reveal. I just can't. Unfortunately, can't do video here in the slideshow, but I tried to get the best action shots of the guy falling. I mean, is this the most like Browns thing to happen on the internet, where they have a logo reveal and the cameraman just slips and falls into the water?
I'm gonna put the tinfoil hat on here.
Fake.
I think that this might have been staged.
I like that.
The Browns helmet reveal, it's like a way to get more attention onto it. Like, who the fuck is watching this or cares about it in any capacity? I mean, I will say it does look real. It does look like the guy took a misstep. So if it is fake, it's a good acting job, in my opinion. But why is he taking this route to take a picture of his kid? Like, that's what was really bothering me. He's trying to catch a picture of his kid in the 99 jersey. Why is he walking around?
Kid? What? Wait, hold on. What kid are you talking about?
Or it's
here?
to the left of this. There's another.
You see, on the left, there's an old lady
Hold
right
on,
there.
this is a
That's
parent.
two
I
guys
assume
thing.
this
No,
is a
not a
guy for
parent.
Brown's social
Whatever.
media.
He was trying to take a picture of this or a video.
Yeah, I thought it was Brown's social, but
Yes,
maybe it was
I think
fake.
so as well.
I'm not saying I agree. It's
I could
about
see it being fake.
Yeah, it's definitely not 0% fake.
I'm Tim for
real.
that guy. I don't see this.
You don't see it being fake?
I don't see it. I watched the video enough times to try and get a screenshot. It looks real.
Why else? Why do they even need a float to
Yeah.
do this?
Yeah, this is just the dumbest thing I've
Like
ever
everything
seen.
about it is dumb. Maybe it's
It's
fake.
true. Why
maybe
could
it's
they not put this giant helmet
All
on
right, you're winning
land?
me over a little bit.
What was the problem with
What?
putting
You're
this?
winning me over a little bit.
Also,
Great
who needs-
point, Jeff.
It just,
Great point.
None of it makes sense, but like the Browns don't seem. How do I put this? In like a Nadeauian way. They take themselves way too seriously. There's no way that they would play into the narrative of them being sloppy or clumsy.
Fair.
Like that's just not
That's a
a
good point.
thing they would do. Is play into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next one on the chopping block here. It's Happy Gilmore 2. It released over the weekend. I know a couple of friends saw it. I didn't watch it yet. Rob, I know you saw it. You brought it up in a tweet. Jeff saw it. He was bored by it. It's
fell
amazing
asleep
how
twice.
quickly fake anger spreads. I doubt most people rage posting about Happy Gilmore to even care. Manufacturing outrage is the new marketing. 74% popcorn meter on Rotten Tomatoes with over 1,000 reviews, but I'm expected to believe this is the worst movie ever. A couple other takes here. Sammy P saying, if you think Happy Gilmore 2 is the worst movie ever, you're just looking for attention. What did you expect, Citizen Kane? It's a Sandler movie. Fair enough, Sammy P. Dave Portnoy, other point of view. If you loved it and thought it was hilarious, you are brain dead. No disrespect. I just refuse to believe anybody could love it. That's impossible. A couple more tweets to get through here. Jordan Schultz at Schultz Report. Not sure if this is a hot take or not, but here it goes. Happy Gilmore 2 might be the worst movie I've ever seen. Absolutely abysmal. The original Happy is glorious in every single way, and I was thrilled about the sequel, but I'm still in shock with how bad this was. Literally unwatchable. Have you guys all seen Happy Gilmore 2 or no?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but this is the dumbest take ever. Anyone that had an expectation of it being nothing other than a few recycled jokes
Yeah.
and cheap laughs, an easy watch for like an hour and 20 minutes, you're an idiot.
Well, it's 2 hours, but yeah. That's so you fell asleep through some parts. So.
Expecting this to be great would be like expecting, like, who's like a 90-year-old baseball player to come out and like pitch a good game today. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's like bringing Greg Maddux back into the league and saying, like, go pitch against these guys with your pinpoint control.
You watched it because out of respect and equity, to see the recycled jokes, to see the modern cameoed golfers. This was like Sandler doing the least possible he could to find out how this even came together. To know it sucks is so obvious.
I could tell you exactly how it came together. His daughter, I assume, is trying to break into acting. She plays a major part in the movie. His sons are also in the movie. So it's like Adam Sandler is at the point where he has
Adam Sandler's been running a grift on Netflix and the world for a long time.
Yeah.
He's got to meet a quota. This was the low-hanging, laziest thing he could fucking do, and he gets to do it because he's Sandler, and he's got to finish the job.
It was fine. Like, first of all, there's things that bother me, right? There's like very clear product placements throughout, which is, listen, it's 2025. It's going to happen. You know, the close-ups on the Callaway ball and whatever. These are things that I notice that bother, they just agitate me. But they very clearly tried to fit like a ton of jokes into this movie. Like, they tried a lot. And some of them are really bad. And some of them are fucking hilarious. Like the whole gimmick with him drinking out of fucking spoiler alert, people, like everything is fucking hilarious. It is really, really funny. It's just like a dumb movie that you like, your expectations should, like we've been saying, should not be elite. The golf at the end, when they faced like the Maxi Tour guys, that sucked. That is a good premise. But the way they filmed it, it felt like I was watching like TikTok videos.
I don't even think I'm going to watch it, truth be told.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care
No
enough.
chance I'm going to watch it.
I might actually watch it again, I'll be honest.
Well, okay, but I actually, like, so I agree with you guys in the sense of obviously it was going to be bad. If you've literally watched 5 minutes of the last 10 Adam Sandler movies, they're all the worst.
It's better than
they're
those.
Horrible.
But some of those are like fucking whatever, Doogie Halloween or whatever the fuck those movies are. Those stink.
To me, where I feel like you guys are you guys are just saying like, oh, obviously it was going to suck, and that's kind of fine. But like, to me, it's just so depressed. Like Happy Gilmore 1,
Yes, that's a good point.
is like actually like a hysterical movie that everyone like holds so deeply in their heart,
iconic.
and now all movies are just shitty remakes of IP, and it's like just to me like movies. If you look at like the list of like most popular grossing movies in like 2025 versus 1997, everyone in 2025 is a remake or just old IP.
Superhero.
Marvel was like the worst thing to ever happen in movies.
But from a comedy perspective too, because of because of the way society is, you just don't get the comedies that you used to.
But I don't even agree that that's a society. I think they're not. I think studios aren't willing to take risks because they know that you're gonna fucking watch Happy Gilmore 2 twice.
Yeah, that's a good point. But like, think of like, I don't know, what's an example I can think of? Tropic Thunder would be one.
That's like a Black Swan movie, though, if I had to say so myself. Like that you can never make that movie ever again, regardless of the time. Like it's a Black Swan.
But also, I actually don't, because like now there's like, if someone made like a super whatever anti-woke movie, like there's a huge segment of society who would be like, oh, like I want to watch this, comedy's back, blah 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 blah. But like it just doesn't happen anymore, and it's really like even like everything is because like. The share of new music that's listened to is less.
All of it.
It's like
it's everything is worse. Like just like I could take the thing like what's happened to movies is essentially what like Fanatics did to sports merch.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
Like the quality is shit.
Yeah.
It's like it's just the worst. It's the worst monopoly thing ever. It's as bad as anything else.
Yeah.
Relative to the conversation.
Yes.
We'll close out with. Go ahead, Kirk. What are you gonna say?
So like,
that's a good point.
It doesn't matter to me if it's the worst movie ever, if it's a shitty movie, blah blah. It's just like so sad that like one, I do find like to me, Game of Thrones season 8 is the perfect example, even though it's different. Like, that's obviously not like a remake or anything, of like ending something on such a sour note makes the whole thing feel like crap. Like the fact that kind of Anchorman 2 existed,
but I
kind of ruins Anchorman 1.
See, I don't agree with that. I don't like Dumb and Dumber or whatever. To me, does not impact Dumb and Dumber whatsoever, which I fucking love.
If The Hangover 1 was a standalone movie, it would be regarded as one of the best comedies ever made. It still somewhat gets talked about, but 2 and 3 definitely take away from that. Like, I just think there is some of the magic gets lost if you associate something completely shitty with something that was really great.
Should they have made the movie? No. Is it the worst movie ever? Also, no. And anyone who's like, the amount of movies that I can name off that are worse than Happy Gilmore would be a list. Happy Gilmore to be thousands long. Terrible movies. Anyways,
I will be very sad when they make a Step Brothers 2. I will not want to see that. But speaking of brothers, TJ Watt was in the news, massive contract. But JJ Watt was also in the news this past week. He did the 999 challenge. For those who don't know, it's when you sit through 9 innings of baseball. That's one challenge. And then the other 2 challenges are eating 9 hot dogs and drinking 9 beers. He was asking people if it would be fun, miserable, entertaining. Well, guess what? He absolutely crushed the shit out of this because he was 7-7 through 3 innings, and he was able to finish his 9 beers and 9 hot dogs at 5.5 innings. Now, some people were kind of giving him shit because apparently you're supposed to do 1 beer, 1 hot dog per inning.
Yeah.
But I will say I attempted this. I got to 7, but Geoff over there, he made me leave before I could finish it. Anyways, I wasn't finishing
I told
it
him not
regardless.
to fucking start.
yeah. I will
I
say,
told him I'm not staying to watch him do it. So
and
he
I
shouldn't
think it's
start.
harder to like
Is it?
Yeah, to space it out. Yeah, because you kind of build up like the bloat over time. No.
No,
He destroyed it.
Crushing
Yeah,
9
no.
hot
JJ
dogs
Watt,
in
look at the
5
size of
innings
this man.
is
He's doing it
crazy.
no matter what.
Yeah.
They also, it sounds way less enjoyable if you have to do 1 and 1 every inning because you're getting up and going to the concessions after every inning.
Yes.
That's also a good point.
Looks like he's in a nice box.
Sweet or
or
something
something
like that.
Maybe not actually. It's hard to tell.
I'll say like 25-year-old me would absolutely, like, this sounds like a glorious afternoon or night. I just don't have it in me anymore. Now I think of like, do I have heartburn medication on me? Like, where's the nearest emergency? Like, where I need to be situated next to a garbage can.
Where's the defibrillator?
No, I want to do the 2-2-2 challenge. The 2-2-2. 2 hot dogs, but on the way into the game, the sausage vendor on the corner of the rod, 2 beers, and 2 quick power naps. That is a great day for me right there. If I can sit in my seat.
At the game?
Oh yeah, done that before. You wake up to the crack of the bat every now and then. It's actually amazing.
That
really
is
good.
That very interesting.
No one's ever done this before. You never
No.
fell asleep at a game, just really quickly.
No.
No?
I'm curious to hear if anyone in the audience has
If
done
you
that
can snap a
before.
picture of Rob sleeping at a Jays game, hashtag circle back.
Hashtag circle back. All right, let's close it out the show here with our last tweet coming from Amanda Vance. And Geoff, I saw your face there. You're like, what the fuck is this? A huge announcement. I'm excited to officially announce my partnership with DraftKings. Get ready to cash a lot of tickets with the best sports book out there. Hashtag DK partner. And it's sad to see because I don't know if she's a friend of the show, but this was Taylor Mathis's bag. And what's not anymore. So now it goes to Amanda Vance. What are your guys' thoughts?
I say this like unironically. I think this is a very good match. Like
I
this
agree.
This is a perfect match. You have an unserious sports bettor with an unserious sports book. Put them together. I don't dislike Amanda Vance as a person. I just kind of dislike what she represents with the entire industry. But if I was DraftKings, Amanda Vance would probably be someone who I would look at as an influencer to represent my brand, sadly, as it stands nowadays. So I think it's a good fit. I just question whether or not over time, the quote unquote like sports betting influencers in the space, we use the term influencer, right? But it's like, how much are they actually influencing is my question. And I don't work in marketing for a sports book. I obviously consulted for books in the past, and I have like some data on this in the offshore space. But not every following or like the amount of engagement you get is representative of somebody willing to take an action necessarily. So like here would be the example that I would use. If Amanda tweeted out, go and bet this at this sports book, as a random example, but Kirk also tweeted out the same thing, I would venture that Kirk, despite having a much, much smaller following, would probably get more people to generate that click than Amanda necessarily would, for a variety of reasons that we don't have to get into, but you can do the math. So I first of all, good fit, can't complain about it. Second of all, I wonder how long these are going to happen for in the future, and whether these companies are actually seeing movement off of spending dollars with influencers in the sports betting space.
Yeah, I think I disagree. That's like honestly kind of a clear, perfect fit. Like, I actually kind of think Amanda Vance's are pretty rare for a company like DraftKings. Like, she's kind of like more actual like influencer-y.
Yeah.
But she's in like the sports betting space. So like, I do agree with you. I'm not sure how much she actually moves the needle, but like, I think it obviously makes sense for her to be like a DraftKings sponsor. That feels like actually quite a reasonable fit.
This Windsor Hill 12-foot by 12-foot hardtop gazebo in black is 42% off at Home Depot. Do you care?
What?
You don't care. That's how little I fucking care about this. Holy shit. Can we go home?
All right, well, that will wrap up the show for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Circle Back. A reminder, if you made it this far, smash that like button. It goes a long way for us in the algorithm. And if you want to drop your comment section down below, get in on the conversation. Maybe you do care about the, what was it? The shed from Home Depot.
Like a good
Who
deal.
knows?
It is a good deal.
That was a great bit.
42% off at Home Depot.
Yeah, it's originally $2,200.
Is
Now
it a floor model though?
I'm not sure. I just went to Home Depot because I don't give a shit about that, and then I found something that I gave
Is
less
that
a
what
shit
you
about.
do when you just like when you're just doom scrolling? You go to Home Depot.
No, right there, because we're end of the show, and I didn't care. I was trying to find something. At first, I thought like I'd give you a grocery price, but maybe you like cucumbers. I didn't know.
I love
So I
cucumbers.
just found something that like I know maybe you won't give a fuck about, and I just made a joke.
Take a little toke, cucumbers in some ranch dressing, banger.
All right, let's get
Here's
out of here.
Albert.
Geoff wants to go home. Make sure you subscribe to Circles Off to get more content like this. We are back on Friday with Fluff, with myself, with Kanish, and a very special third guest. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope to see you there.